Wow. So anyways, uh I I think what I'll do is I'll just give Laura the ability to talk first, right? And then afterwards I'll kind of like take over. Right?
Can I put this on that side?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hello everyone. Yeah, I don't want to make this a long thing or anything, because right now I think the last thing I want to do is actually be live. Dantes and Tarzan have their little boy fights again, and I was dragged into it. I really do not give one single fuck what they're doing. But yeah, I don't know if any of you have seen Tarzan stream. Tarzan publicly, without asking me for my consent, talked about a medical procedure of mine. For the people that don't know, in December, I got an abortion. And can you get me paper towels? And so what happened was that at the time where Dantes and I met, I wasn't on birth control just because I suffered from depressions from it. I guess a lot of girls that have taken the pills or anything know that they can affect your mood and anything. And so what happened was that I've been in over, I would say, almost 6 years in relationships with different partners. Like one was 4 years, one was almost 2 years, and the other one was a bit shorter before meeting Dantes. And like you do that with a partner, I didn't use protection and I never got pregnant or anything. So for a long, long time, I thought I was infertile. So when I met Dantes, I told him about it, and I was like, well, over years of being sexually active, I never got pregnant. So what are the chances, that you meet someone new and are sexually active with them and then something happens? So in Korea,
I just want to say I think it's also important to say that we did have a discussion.
yeah, 100%. And so that's how it came up, because we talked about it. And when I went to Korea,
I don't want to cut off, right? But I just want to say that because just to clarify that we did have the discussion about like what would happen if like anything happened.
yeah,
and
so
that's why.
yeah, we talked about the fact that if something would happen, which in that moment, and that might have been my fault or whatever, that an abortion would 100% be a thing. But please remind you, at that time we were not in a relationship. We were just like getting to know each other. I think it was like 2 weeks into knowing each other that we started talking about those things. So then Dantes went back to Canada. I stayed at home. He and I went to Vegas and officially started dating. And then he went to Korea for 2 weeks and I stayed in Germany. And then he like asked me if I could come to stay with him there because he was like having a really hard time. So I got there. And of course, what partners do, we were like sexually active. And I think 2 weeks before the Korea trip was supposed to end, I woke up one day feeling like migraines. My skin was getting super bad, and I don't know why. But my first conclusion was like, please let it not be like a baby. So Dandas and me went and got some pregnancy test, and it didn't even take a second for them to turn positive. And I guess for the first 2 weeks we were pretty in shock, but the first thing we did was call our parents, because what do you do when something happens, you don't know what to do, you call your parents. And I don't want to put any blame on our parents or on our families, but you know how families are, especially, of course, when you're in a fresh relationships, is that they're like directly jumping to, oh yeah, so when are you getting the abortion? And at that point, I just found out that I was pregnant, and I didn't even realize what was happening with my body. And so I called my mom. I am not in contact with my mom, but in that moment I just needed her and asked her, like, what am I supposed to do? And she was like, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. And you just come to Germany and we will fix this. So you have to understand, it wasn't Dantes that told me, oh, abortion, abortion. It was more a thing of my family and also his family were right from the get-go saying, yes, you get an abortion. So then we went to Germany and I went to the doctors and I was at that point 3 weeks pregnant. And so what happened then was that I did not want to get a abortion with the pill that you can take, because that can fuck up your body really harshly. I wanted to get it done like as a procedure, and that was hard enough. I think Dantes can agree that for me it was really hard. I told him a lot of times that I don't know if that's the right decision, and he was like telling me over and over again, like, we will get through this whichever way. And you have to understand, it wasn't him that pushed me to it. That's just saying, no one pushed me, because at the end of the day, this is my body. I can do what I want. I'm an adult, but I felt pressured from other people than Dantes. So what happened was that the doctor told me, I can't make the procedure on you because the baby is still too small. I need to wait a bit longer. So I flew back to Canada with Dantes, and the time when I had to get the abortion was at the time where he had his tournament, and he was telling me what I want to do. He didn't say, I'm not gonna come, I'm not gonna do whatever. He was just letting me know in that time frame something career-wise is happening, what I want to do. And maybe it's my own fault that I'm a bit too selfless in that moment, but I just didn't want him to be away from his career and like a big thing for him. So I was like, I have my family in Berlin, I have my friends, I can do this, and I'll be back in a week, and then you can help me. Because I never had to deal with it, so I didn't even know how it affects you. And I went to Berlin, everything was good, everything was okay. I got the abortion, and I think 2 hours after getting it, 2 hours after getting it, I completely broke down, and I had to go to the emergency because I was just emotionally completely out of it. And Dantes ended his stream earlier so we could call and I could express to him how bad I was feeling. And then my grandma came over and I told my grandma, I think I did a mistake. And she told me, I'm so sorry for pressuring you. If I would have known, I wouldn't have pressured you into getting it. So it's so unfair to me for such a disgusting human being, a 20-year-old man-child, to go online and lie about my history with abortion. This should have never been public. This is something he was told in private, and to go online to talk about me and then lie about something that is not even true just to make Dantes seem worse. I know that Dantes looks bad because of everything he did to those girls. And I'm 100% here for him to earn up what he did. I've talked about it with him in Korea and a couple other times afterwards, and he expressed to me how bad he was feeling. But it's not my place to talk for the girls, to talk for them. This is not my business. This is not my business. And for him to go online and talk about something that I haven't even felt comfortable enough to share with people is so disgusting to me, because I myself am not yet done with healing from that. Just in Brazil was the anniversary of 6 months of my abortion, and I was laying in bed with Dantes, breaking down, crying, because it was just the worst thing for me on this planet. Dantes had to deal so often with me sitting there and being like, I want my baby, I want a baby, I just can't deal with this. And it's so disgusting to me that this man-child talks about respect, talks about how adult-like he is, to go online and talk about my trauma. I don't care if you're mad with Dantes, that's not my business. Don't put me into something that I didn't inflict on you. Did Tarzan and I have a problem in Brazil when we went to the airport? Yes, 100%. Did we mutually agree that we apologize to each other? Also, 100%. But why do you have to push me into something and not just not ask me for the permission, but also lie about it? How disgusting must you be? And I'm not blaming these girls going there, because I understand that they want revenge. They want to feel better about the fact that Dantes did shit to them and want him to feel bad for it. That's not my business, and I will not stand here and be like, oh yeah, you here, you that, because I've been the first one to tell him, you fucked up and you gotta earn up to it. But for these girls to still go online, talk with this man on live stream while they're girls, and knowing what he does to other girls, talking about their trauma, and so much more things, this is so extremely disgusting to me. Really, I've found it so funny that this man in Brazil literally was sucking my cock, being like, you're the best, Laura. Thanks for cleaning. Thanks for cooking for us. Even going on stream being like, oh yeah, Laura's a real one for doing this. When we went over to his place after he got broken up with shortly before Brazil, Laura, thank you for being such a good friend. You guys are so perfect. And as soon as something doesn't go the way he wants it to, you're an enemy, and everything you've told that person in private is now something that they can use against us. Why the fuck would I not tell someone that I trust my private matters and saying, oh yeah, it has to be said? No! It has to be said that Dantes fucked up in the past and has to earn up to it. But what doesn't have to be said is my issues that I had privately about my body, about my mental, and taking all this big drama, the nuke he wants to drop, on who did he drop it? Not on him, because at the end of the day, what he says that Dantes pushed me into anything isn't even true. And second of all, now the hate is not going towards him. I am now the one to be blamed for this. And this is so disgusting to me. Yeah, no, it has to be said, not from you. You were not the one in the place to talk about this. It would either been me or Dantes, but not this man, and not in combination with him playing girls. Because what the fuck does him in his past playing with girls' feelings have to do with my abortion? Now, I've literally done nothing but tell Dantes from the get-go, I don't want this relationship publicly. I'm a girl. I'm in love with the streamer. This is not gonna end well for me. Dantes told me he wants to show me off. He wants me to show him off. I respected that, because normal couples do that, but we're in a different setting. I never wanted for Tarzan to talk openly about our private matters that we had at the airport. He chose for me, against me, to talk online about it. Then we talked in private where he multiple times refused to talk to me as an adult that he is, to not talk with me, until I literally had to beg for this man just to listen to me. Then I apologized to him, because after what I found disrespectful to say to me, if he says that's a joke or whatever, I don't care. I found it not funny. I found it really disrespectful. And for a fact, I know that there were 3 other people at the desk that see it the same fucking way. So then I apologized for acting emotional, and I said something that I shouldn't have said. He apologizes to me, being like, you know what? You were right. Like, I shouldn't have said something. And I didn't have any problems with him. I didn't go online and inflicted myself into their drama. Nothing. Did I clear up things about me apparently flirting with this man? Me apparently hating on him? Trash talking him, which is all bullshit. Of course I cleared that up, but I never talked about his private life. I never talked about his private problems or anything. And for this man with 29 years talking about he wants to find the one, he wants to find a wife, he wants to have children, to talk about me, an other adult that went through something that literally broke me till this day, is the most disgusting shit ever.
So, I mean, I guess what I'll say in regards to this situation and the situation alone, the abortion wasn't even something I brought up to my closest friends. It wasn't even something that I brought up to my aunts. It wasn't something I brought up to my uncles. It wasn't something I brought up to my grandparents. It wasn't something that almost anyone in my life knew about. Okay? I told it to one singular person. One. In all the months that it had happened, I told it to one person. The reason why Tarzan knew about it is because Laura, obviously, right, it affected her a lot more than it affected me. And she found, I guess, like some measure of healing in talking about it and being open about it with her friends, with those she considered a part of her circle, her family. And I've never called for the deplatforming of anybody. I've never called for anyone to lose their careers and their livelihoods or whatever it might be. I might have said that some people deserve to sit there and face consequence for their actions, right? Just as I'm sure I will later today, after girls I'd had talking stages with and stuff like that will say things about me, right? But the fact that he decides to leak something like that as some kind of truth bomb, the fact that this disgusting fucking piece of shit sits there and talks in front of thousands of people, leaking probably the most traumatic thing that either of us has ever had to go through in front of thousands when I didn't even talk about it to my closest friends. The fact that this disgusting freak of a human being thinks, because the thing is that it's not even just because I know that people are going to go after me because of it. That's whatever. But you have somebody that literally did nothing to you. And now there are going to be thousands of people messaging her shit, death threats, commenting about a situation that they had no right to know about. And the fact that he enables it, the fact that he allowed for it, he caused it! He is the most disgusting person I've ever met! The fact that he is so willing to just do something like that is disgusting to me. And then for him to sit there on his stream and to insinuate about me that the reason why I broke up is because I wanted to hoe around or things like that, when the truth is that since me and Laura announced a breakup, we've still kept contact. We've still sat there and I've still been trying to navigate it with her because I genuinely just don't know what's going on. It's been months where you have to deal with people shitting on you from the outside, with your career also taking a downturn, with events like the abortion that just sit there and make you feel so fucking overwhelmed that you don't even know what's happening, that you needed a bit of space. And the fact that she's been amazing enough to, throughout all this, still be willing to talk to me, still been able to work things out with me. I even fucking messaged her at 8 a.m. this morning, telling her that I'd be willing to go to therapy so that I can truly sit here and I can truly become better. And for this disgusting, vile, human being creature to sit there and to bring up the most private matter that either of us ever had to undergo. The fact that this man thought that it was right and thought that it was justified to lie about a situation, it is nothing short of absolutely disgusting and nothing short of the greatest testament to the truth of his character. The fact that he's willing to commission a fucking Spotify rap song and then in the same hour sit there after playing it and leak the most private thing that people that once considered him friends had chosen to tell him. Anyways. The only thing I ask, truly, is that if you want to sit here and you want to go after me, you want to go after the fact that in the past I sat there and I had multiple talking stages, go for it. You want to talk about the fact that in the past, yes, I did lie about certain situations with girls, go for it. You want to talk about how I had certain half-truths, go for it. But it's funny because in that message string that he decided to leak, there was legitimately a message where I said, I'm sure that one day when I find the right one, I'll be able to be different. And the thing is that I'm trying, It's just hard. It's just really hard. Anyways.